Hey gamers, I am cyborg7. Hope we're all well, guys. Great to be back with another video. Now this is the week of Nintendo for me. This is a recap of all 100 NTSC Super Nintendo games boxed and complete that I got in my collection, before I then show you the latest editions that I picked up last week. As you can see, I've got it in the classic SNES-tastic view, which is easily the best way to showcase the games. So let's crack on, guys, and show you the first batch. The first game is Acter, a classic side-scrolling action platformer with RPG elements. The game starts off pretty straightforward, but does get quite difficult towards the end, especially knowing you have to complete and beat each boss all over again, one after another at the very end. So good luck with that, Pete. But that is Acter. And of course the second game is Atser II. Game to me is graphically superior to the first. Solely platforming game, no RPG elements in this one, but the ruining factor of this game is the game difficulty, which is very, very difficult. Definitely a game you've got to persevere with and play and play and play to get anywhere in this game. It's such a difficult game, which really lets it down, and it's such a shame. But graphically and music, it is fantastic, but unfortunately slightly hard, so it's not for everyone. But that is Atser II. Moving on to the Addams Family, another classic platforming game. Follows quite closely to the film. Really good graphics, really great music, an iconic game, one of the very first releases for the system, if I can recall. But a very tough cookie as well. Not completed this one, but still one of them addictive games where you want to play it and keep on playing it, even though you know you're not going to get very far. But still a very, very good game to have in a collection, and that is the Addams Family. And then to follow that up is its sequel, which is the Addams Family Pugsleys Scavenger Hunt. Graphically slightly better than the first one, but I have to admit you've got to be pinpoint with your platforming action on this one, because this one is difficult, very, very difficult indeed. I don't think I've done one level fully all the way through. It is such a hard game, but the game itself, beautiful graphics, fantastic music. But yet again, it's one of them addictive games. You just want to keep on playing, even though you're not going to get very far. So that is Pugsley's Scavenger Hunt. The next one is not the greatest of platformers, but it's Aero the Acrobat. Nice little platformer, nice graphics. As I say, not the best platforming game I've ever played. Looking forward to getting the sequel eventually, probably sometime next year. But a mixture of side-scrolling, and you got your Mode 7 action in there as well, which is a nice little touch. But, you know, as I say, not the greatest, but still a worthy platforming game to have in anybody's collection. So that is Aero the Acrobat. Yet more platform action. Now this one is a classic, and this is the Aladdin, the Capcom version for the Super Nintendo. Fantastic music, beautiful graphics. I mean, what can I say about this game? It is such an awesome title. But I have to say, the Mega Drive does have slight edge on that being a better version of the game. But still not disappointed with this at all, and still deserves a place in anyone's collection. So that is Aladdin. The next one I've been hunting for a long time, which is the Adventures of Batman and Robin. A classic and very difficult side-scrolling action beat-em up, with obviously platform elements too. The thing about this, it does have a strategic edge to it, because you must pick the right equipment to go into the levels with you, because otherwise if you don't, you will find that it's going to be very tough to complete the level. But a very challenging Batman game, and I'd say my second favourite Batman game of all time, which you'll see the other one in a short while. But that is the Adventures of Batman and Robin. And speaking of a short while, here we have that game, and that is Batman Returns, one of the best side-scrolling beat-em-ups I've ever played. Music, graphics, it's just a fantastic game, and a must for anybody's collection, be it Famicom, Super Famicom, or be it the Super Nintendo. It's one of them games I picked up from when I very first picked up the Super Nintendo and started collecting for the NTSC system. And the graphics, the gameplay, it's such a fantastic game. Absolutely recommended, and easily, as I said, one of the best side-scrolling beat-em-ups available, without doubt, and the best Batman game, put it that way. So that is Batman Returns. Another platformer, which is Bob. A nice little quirky side-scrolling platform game. He's got a little robot obviously on the front cover, and he's got an array of different weapons and techniques, recommended by Pete through one of his many videos that he did. But as I say, didn't pay the earth for this, and it is a really quite a nifty little title to have. So if you're into your platformers, it's definitely worth a look. So that is Bob. Right, moving on to this little blind out, which is Battletoads in Battlemaniacs. Love this game. Very, very, very difficult as per usual. Graphics are fantastic, great music, but as I say, I repeat, frustrating and very difficult. Like most conversions of this game on any system you get it for, it is super hard. But still love it, still love to torture myself and to play this game, and still a worthy addition to my collection. So that is Battletoads in Battlemaniacs. And the next one is just as worse, if not worse. This one is Battletoads and Double Dragon. Graphically, not as good as Battletoads, but ridiculously difficult is the word. It is super hard. I can't even get off the first level. But still a great array of characters, all the Battletoads team, and obviously the brothers from Double Dragon. But as I say, graphically, not the greatest, but still a very collectible game this is, and a very, very tough one. So be prepared for smashing your pad. And that's Battletoads and Double Dragon. And the next one is this one, which is Best of the Best Championship Karate. Now this one is one of the cheapies that I've got in the collection, but bought through nostalgic value, and plus the condition of it is really, really nice. Originally played this, I think it was the Amiga, I actually played this on, and I bought this back specifically because I kind of liked it on the Amiga. So, and it's a very basic and the same conversion as the Amiga version, but yeah, still a quirky little side fighting game. Plenty of variety, plenty of moves to unlock, and as I say, for the money, I'm quite happy with that. So that is Best of the Best Championship Karate. And the next one is the first shooter. This is Blazion, the Cyborg Challenge, and this is an Atlas game. Love my Atlas titles. Graphically, very, very nice this one is. Music's quite good, quite slow paced this one is, so it's a good shoot 'em up to start on. But as I say, not really played it tremendously, but still a very enjoyable shooter that's been added to the collection. So that is Blazion, the Cyborg Challenge. And the next one is Choplifter III. A classic conversion brought to the Super Nintendo, added into is the boss battles. Not a bad conversion, quite difficult to be honest with you. Not played it that much, but this one is another cheapie to the collection. Didn't pay through the nose for this one, but very, very happy to have this in the collection. And worthy picking up if you're, picking up like a nice little cheap game. And that's Choplifter III. The next one is one I've wanted for a while, a nice beat 'em up, but I got in bad condition unfortunately, which is the Power Rangers, the Fighting Edition. Fantastic side-scrolling one-on-one beat 'em up. Love the graphics for this, love the music. Absolutely superb game. Shame the condition of the box isn't to my standard, but I will pick another one up one day. But very, very happy to own this after the longest of times, and definitely one beat 'em up you want in your collection. So that's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the Fighting Edition. Another shooter to the collection. Now this one is Darius Twin, one of the Darius games, many Darius games for this system and other systems. Not a bad game, very, very tough as per usual, like most shooters on this system and various systems, but very nice to have in the collection. And that is Darius Twin.
The next one is a side-scrolling shooter, which is Doom Troopers. Very much like Protector or Contra 3 in respects, but slightly more harder, to be honest, and the graphics are more rendered. They look more like realistic people. And it don't look, it's not a too bad game. It's very difficult, to be honest. Got to the first boss, that's about it. But game, original title, very nice game to have, and very sought after as well. So that is Doom Troopers. The next one is the classic F-Zero. Can't go wrong with this game. The game that started it all for me. One of the best racing titles on the system by far. Absolutely iconic music, iconic tracks, iconic full stop. It's just an absolutely fantastic game, and one everybody should have in their collection. So that's F-Zero. Now this game is Flashback. Runs slightly better on the Mega Drive, I have to admit. This is a very slow conversion. Don't know why the slowdowns on it, but still an absolutely classic game by Delphine. I got this on firstly the 3DO, and then got it on the Mega Drive, and then I got it on the Super Nintendo specifically for the artwork, because the artwork is fantastic. So that is Flashback. Another shooter to the collection, which is Gradius 3. Another hard game, unfortunately. Very testing on the old agility. If you're not into your shooters, then beware. But still a fantastic addition to the collection. So that is Gradius 3. And the next one is a fantastic game. It is Contra Alien Wars. An absolute iconic side-scrolling platform shooter. Brilliant graphics, brilliant music. Tough as nails. If you want to get through this and see the proper ending, you've got to do it on the hardest setting, but formerly known as Protector. The difference is you got 2 soldiers in this one instead of 2 robots, but what a classic game. And that is Contra 3, the Alien Wars. The next one is another cheapie. This is Cool Spot, heavily influenced by the 7-Up logo, obviously. This is a typical platforming game, colourful, bright, and a worthy addition. Preferably I like the Mega Drive version. Spot Goes to Hollywood a little bit better than this, but still a nice little version to have in the collection, and that is Cool Spot for the Super Nintendo, obviously. And the next one is a classic. It's Cybernator. It's the typical side-scrolling action shooting mech game from Konami. Also known as Assault Suit Vulcan on the Super Famicom, which Daz and I think Tino 777's got. Rob 2 Champion 2D Rob, but an absolute cracking game. Music's brilliant, platforming. I've never really done this game, but it's a great little challenge if you're into your side-scrolling platform shooters. So that's Cybernator. Now this one's debatable, but I love this game. This is a side-scrolling action beat-em-up, Aliens versus Predator. One of the ones that I was lucky to keep in my collection when I sold half my collection off. As I've done so, I've kept some of the rarity games, strangely enough and thankfully enough. But this, as I say, it's not to everybody's taste, but it's a nice side-scrolling beat-em-up. You're the alien and you got to kick ass, and the Predators, obviously. I quite like this game. And it's in absolutely fantastic edition, and this can go for a high price, especially more so on the PAL version, but still definitely a worthy addition to add to my NTSC collection. So that is Alien versus Predator. And the final game in this little batch, guys, is the all-time classic Axial. What can I say about this? It is just the most awesomest shoot 'em up for the system, and easily the best on the system by far. Music, graphics, the style of gameplay, which I've never come across since. It's such an iconic game, and some of the biggest bosses in any shoot 'em up I've ever seen. And as I say, playing this years ago, absolutely loving it, and then getting it, rebuying it and enjoying it all over again, it just brings back how good this game actually is. So guys, that is the final game in the week of Nintendo, and that's Axial. Right guys, I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in part 2. All the best, guys.